Welcome, Panther Nation and football fans, to Growlin and Prowlin, the second show. I am Misterceelow, talking all things Carolina Panthers, from the off-season to the preseason, in-season to postseason, and the draft. Let the growling begin. Good evening, fans. Of course, this is Misterceelow here. We are here after about a week after the draft. We have 5 new Panthers that were drafted this past weekend. And I'm very, very excited about what we have done as far as Scott Fitterer and Coach Ejiro and what we've seen so far. But check us out on the Growlin and Prowlin Facebook page, as well as my personal Instagram, Misterceelow. And if you have any comments, put them down there in those in our new group, as well as our Facebook page. And if you have any ideas about the show, please link us up. And if you have any questions that we feel are very interesting and insightful, we may add you on the show. We have a few individuals we want to give shout outs to. A few new subscribers to the channel. Maybe Terrell. Shout out to you, my friend. And if I say your name wrong, please correct me. But I'll give you a shout out on the later on parts of the video. But let's get into it. We have noticed that we needed some things on our team over the last 2 or 3 years. One of them during the Matt Rule era was a quarterback. The biggest issue we have had was that we had a lot of issues within the throwing of the football, and we solved that problem, I think, last Thursday night when we selected quarterback Bryce Young out of Alabama. Being 5'10", 204 pounds officially at the combine, that's neither here nor there. He didn't weigh in at his Alabama Pro Day, but hey, he's our quarterback now, and everybody that watched the initial video knows I'm a CJ Stroud guy. Good luck to you, brother. And I think he's going to be a great distributor, but I think calling him the next Patrick Mahomes is kind of pressing it a little bit. I think he's more like Drew Brees. But let's take a look at our new quarterback. As I said, he's 6 foot. Officially, he's 194. And he's more like a point guard than he is a quarterback. Excuse me. But let's look forward. He has great ability to find the open guy, can press the ball down the field, just doesn't have a very strong arm. Very, very good with his eyes, capable of looking over defenders, moving the safety with his eyes, and is capable of using his legs, which is a very strong point in his game that came up late in his junior year. Very good pocket awareness and good mobility to move around in the pocket. And needs to improve and find reads quickly to stay on schedule, which a lot of quarterbacks do when they're young. But anyway, I like the pick. I would have loved to have seen CJ Stroud, but we did go with Bryce Young. But he's got some major, major upside. Let's move on to the next gentleman that we selected. Now, this was a guy, this is the reason why I thought I thought I should have worn my Steve Smith jersey. With the 8th pick in the second round, the Carolina Panthers selected the 6'2" beast of a guy, 220-pound Jonathan Mingo out of Ole Miss. This guy, to say the least, is a baby tight end, or a running back, if you will, and one of the best assets is his strength with the ball in his hands. And Steve Smith was quoted as saying, "Get this guy." It was said that he called up David Tepper and told him, "Get this guy." It was under his advice that the Carolina Panthers are rumored to have drafted Jonathan Mingo. And the one thing that I loved about this guy, watching him on film, was he tracks the deep ball very well. He's got big hands and wins contested catches in traffic and down the field. And it's just really awesome to see we've got a big receiver. That was my biggest knock. And now we've got DJ Shark and we have Terrace Marshall. Terrace Marshall has no more excuses for why he cannot do what he needs to do. You've got the 6'3", 6'4" DJ Shark, and you have the 6'2" Jonathan Mingo. Now the question is, which one of these guys is going to come out of the OTAs with that number 2? We're pretty sure DJ Shark's going to come up with the number 1. I would imagine so, being that he's the one with the most experience, and with Adam Thielen being 32 years old, and not near, and on the other side of the other side of the twilight of his career. So, you know, let's hope that this Deebo Samuel 2.0, that's what I'm going to call him, Deebo Samuel 2.0, can make a mark in his rookie year and build a rapport with our rookie quarterback. We've seen this kind of build up. You had Joe Burrow with T. Higgins. A lot of your teams now are trying to get quarterbacks with rookie wide receivers so that they can build up these rapports with them. And I think it's a very good indicator of what these guys can do later on when they start going through rookie drills and practice drills with one another, and they build that kind of connection, if you will. But Jonathan Mingo, I love this pick. I kind of wish we would have traded down and got this guy, because this guy was projected to be a 3rd-round pick initially. But he's a great selection. I just thought we could have traded down and gotten a pick or two for the value that we got this guy at. But nonetheless, I love the pick, and it's just going to be interesting to see him and Bryce working together. Now the next pick is kind of probably the one that I scratched my head the most, because later on in this video I'm going to tell you guys what I think about the what I call the Burns edge, or the burning edge, if you will. And I believe that's going to be Amare Barno. I think Amare Barno can be Burns' edge, or the guy that can play opposite Brian Burns. You know, I think that's probably Coach Ichiro's biggest obstacle as first-time defensive coordinator, is trying to find that edge guy to go with Brian Burns. And I think this is why they drafted DJ Johnson. I mean, the dude's a freakish talent. I don't know how we were able to steal this guy in the 3rd round. He's 6'4", 260 pounds, and ran a 4.49 40-yard dash. And I want you to really think about this, people. This guy is 6'4", 260 pounds, and ran a 4.49 40. That's pretty impressive. And he's 260 pounds. Think about that. 260 pounds, ran a 4.49. Now, think about this. This guy has almost the same identical frame as Amare Barno. He's just 1.5 inches shorter and weighs about 15 pounds lighter. And as we look at his statistics at Oregon, he's really a hot and cold miss type guy. You know, he uses his hands like sledgehammers, which is great when you're talking about guys that are trying to get to the quarterback. And he's not going to be stopped by a tight end, so that's always a plus when you're talking about a guy coming off the edge. But here's the problem. He's got tight hips, and he's not a natural bender at the point. So really, he's got to rely on his abilities as a bull rusher and a speed rusher. And it's not going to be relatively easy. He's going to have to rely on a lot of stunts and a lot of pushes directly. His tackle technique will need some work. And honestly, that's a tough thing to deal with at this level as well. You've got to be able to bring the quarterback down once you get there. Excuse me. But I think he's going to be in competition with Amare Barno, that DJ Johnson. I like the pick. Would have liked to have seen us go after a defensive back, or possibly a tight end here, but glad we didn't go after a tight end for the reasons of I love Tommy Tremble, and I'll talk about that in a video later on. I love Tommy Tremble. I think he's a great tight end, but he was just underutilized like a lot of the guys we have on the roster. But I like him. I think he's going to be it's going to be a battle between Heath, Frankie Louvu, and well, I think Frankie Louvu's, they're going to hang on to him and keep him rotating with Jeremy Chin on the inside and possibly bounce him outside a little bit. But I think he could definitely, DJ Johnson could definitely compete with, I hope Amare Barno gets his shot because, like I said, I'm going to talk to you guys about it in another video and show you why he deserves a shot with this new regime. And not just overlooked as some 6th round pick that is going to be a bust. But let's move along to our 4th round pick, Chandler Zavala out of NC State. Zavala has awesome quickness to get into position and the size to wall off defenders in the run game, much like our 1st round pick last year. And he flashes the ability to overwhelm defenders climbing to the 2nd level. And his technique has to get better, at times. It's almost like he has mental lapses, if you will. It's kind of like Equano. Equano was, when he gave up sacks last year, it was like he was having a mental lapse. Like he didn't know where he was going. He was supposed to be blocking or where the assignment was. But I think he's going to be a great addition. Not knowing whether Christensen or Corbett are going to be back in time for training camp or even the first game of the year. We needed a guy to go. Hopefully, it's just going to be one of those guys. But here we are talking about. Excuse me. I said 5 guys, but it was it was 5 guys. I'm sorry, I forgot about Jamie. Let's go back to Jamie Robinson, who's our 5th round pick out of Florida State. Arguably the first guy to sign with the team. He was the first pick, ladies and gentlemen, that signed with the team. The Panthers once again signed a guy first, and Amare Barno, ironically, was the guy that signed first. We signed first last year. Robinson's a tenacious, aggressive run defender, which is something we need at the safety position. But considering we have we just signed Von Bell, and with Sean Chandler being back there, and we've got several different obstacles to overcome as far as injury goes when it comes to safety, because right now Xavier Woods has been in and out of injury as far as I can recall, but I'm sure Jamie Robinson would sign more along the lines of a special teams player and not just a playmaker in the secondary, but you never know. We still got, like I said, Xavier Woods and Sean Chandler, as well as the signing of Von Bell. I think Von Bell's the addition that's going to be the big difference maker here. I still think we're going to probably start Xavier Woods. But of course, Jamie Robinson's got the speed to make this roster, I think. But I honestly think that he has the ability to be a great big run stopper. I mean, I think he's probably going to be special teamer for the most part. But then we have to also look at the fact that Xavier Woods was okay last year. He wasn't overwhelming, and Sean Chandler just has been average. He's snoozed on a lot of plays, and that's why they brought in Von Bell. But I think Jamie Robinson's going to be the guy that they're going to depend on as being the primary backup and to learn things, and ultimately, hopefully, take over. He has the speed to do it. I mean, you look at his combine numbers, and they don't necessarily blow you away, but his tackling, when you watch him on film, is pretty impressive. His numbers go at 5'11". 5'11", 191 pounds. And he's out of Cordele, Georgia, ironically. Yay, Cordele. He runs a 4.59 40 at the combine. But his tackling ability is really good. That's what they look at. And I said a senior out of Lee County High School down around my area. But Jeremy Robinson is a guy that we drafted out of the 5th round for, I guess, safety purposes, if you will. And as I said, we needed some help special teams and possibly a guy that if we lose Sean Chandler, Von Bell, or Xavier Woods, this is our guy because he's a sure tackler. But those are our 5 guys that we took in the draft. I think we did pretty well considering the lack of picks that we had. Let me know what you guys think. Feed me down in the comments which is your favorite pick. I have a poll on the Facebook page. Let me know what you guys think. Which one of the guys that we took do you think was your favorite pick? And if you want, you can write in a pick. Who you thought we should. Maybe I'll put a poll up about that. But let me know what you think on Growlin and Prowlin Facebook page. And if you have any comments about the show or directly towards me, hit me up on Misterceelow on Instagram. But let's get into the second aspect of the show, which is the burning edge. Ladies and gentlemen, we have long had an issue with the burning edge. And the burning edge is which is the opposite side of Brian Burns. Now, we all know Brian Burns has been a thorn in the side of many offenses for the last 4 years. Now, with that being said, let's look at the Carolina Panthers' numbers last year as it pertains to sacks. Now, Burns had 12.5 sacks, and he only played 16 games. Now, here's the ironic part about Brian Burns. Is Brian Burns missed at least, now this is from what I could count in the games that I've watched in full. He missed at least 6 sacks by overrunning them or just not bringing the quarterback down. Now, a lot of people are going to say, well, you don't get them all. Well, that's just a tribute to how many times this guy has gotten back to the quarterback. The problem we're running into is we don't have an efficient an efficient pass rusher on the edge to complement him, to alleviate some of the pressure. We had that in Hassan Reddick, and I was livid when the Carolina Panthers let him walk to Philadelphia. Absolutely livid, and then you come back and you just absolutely watch Hassan Reddick do his thing in Philly, and it was not what I wanted to see last year. I'm not even going to kid you. It made me so angry last year. I mean, look at this. This guy had 16 sacks last year. Could you imagine what would have happened and what our team would have looked like? Now, don't get me wrong. Frankie Louvu looked great. Now, Frankie Louvu looked pretty darn impressive the year before when he was just a guy splitting reps. Whether it was Burns taking a breather or whether it was Hassan Reddick taking a breather. And the rumor mill was Hassan Reddick wanted to stay in Charlotte. That really pissed me off. But anyway, let's get into it. Frankie Louvu had 7 sacks. And then you had Marquise Haynes, who was a defensive end. This guy had he had 5 sacks last year. And you're talking about trying to find that guy that breaks the edge. But the guy I want to talk about, and it's the 2 guys that I think are going to match up and go head-to-head in training camp, I don't think Gross Matos is an answer anymore. I think the coaching staff needs to, I know he's a second-round pick, but you don't want to swallow this guy up because he's not the guy that everybody is a favorite of. I don't think that needs to be a reason why this individual is not getting his chance, which is he's a late-round draft pick. And I'm talking about Amare Barno. let's go ahead and let's take a look at this guy that, in my opinion, he's a 6th round pick. Listen, folks, he's a 6th round pick. This could go outlandishly great for the Carolina Panthers. Because here's the thing. Let's look at him. He's 6'6", 245 pounds. He's tacked on some weight since he was a rookie. He's 6'6", 245. Listen to this. 6'6", 245. The guy played 9 games last year. 9 games. And he had 2 sacks. 2 tackles for losses. 7 tackles, 1 assist, 6 solos. But here's the thing I want you to look at. He played 17 snaps in that Saints game and had 1 sack. I want you guys to think about this. He played 17 snaps in that Saints game and got a sack. That doesn't sound like much. But you're talking about 17 snaps and he got a sack out of it. And that's got to be a growing process. This has got to be something where our new defensive coordinator comes in, Ichiro comes in and decides, hey, I'm going to teach this guy how to use his size. I'm going to teach this guy how to be unstoppable. Because, hey, let's keep it in perspective. When this guy gets on the field, he's a disruptor. The many snaps he gets on the field, he is a disruptor. Amare Barno is a disruptor, people. This guy has impressive numbers. And to me, it can be Burns and Barno. Barno and Burns. The Barno and Burns edge. I'm sorry, I like it. The Barno and Burns edge. You know, like I said, the Panthers have been searching for that pass rush, and they had it with Reddick. But I understand you want to get it cheaper. I get it. But right now, you got Barno as a 6th round pick. This guy's coming up. He's going to be 24 years old. We got to develop. This guy was brought in by Matt Rule. Of the few things that Matt Rule did right, he did this one right. Listen, anybody listening in Panther Nation, this guy has got it. I'm going to show you. This guy's got it. He's got the similar body and build to Brian Burns. This guy just needs to get on the field. But the comparison we're making to is the rookie, DJ Johnson. He's 6'4", 260 pounds. 4'4", 940. Barno, as we know, ran a 4'3", 940. That's right, you heard me. That's right, you heard me. He is a burner. He is a burner, people. You can go back, check it out. And he is absolutely just a blur. He can actually annihilate the line. He can actually annihilate going around the corner. And as I said, Johnson, I think, is going to compete for that position. I think he was drafted specifically just to compete and become a project, because that's exactly what they were looking for. They're looking for somebody to press the edge. And I think what they're probably going to try to do is they're going to man it with multiple positions opposite Burns, and possibly try to give Burns a little bit of rest and on certain downs, so he can be more fresh on certain downs. I know a lot of people are going to think that makes no sense, but when you run the 3-4, you run a lot of twists and turns, and you don't know where the blitz is coming from. A lot of zone blitzing, if you will. And I think ultimately it's going to be a lot of fast guys. But let me know what you guys think of the Barno and Burns edge. I love the idea. I think Amare Barno is going to be great, and I know you guys are probably wondering. But definitely check out the if you can, and if I find it, I can upload the Saints Carolina Panthers finale game. He was really good in that game. He only played 17 snaps, but he was effective his entire thing out there. But you know, if you have any comments, go to Growlin, Prowl, or whether it's our Facebook page or our group. Check out the like I said, check out the the little thing that we have, and tell us which player did you enjoy, that you thought was your best pick, that we should have that was our best pick. I'm sorry, I'm rambling my words right now, but tell us which one of these guys you thought was the best pick of our draft, and tell us which guy in the comments, which guy would you have wanted in the draft, or you were disappointed that we didn't get, or which guy were you disappointed that we did get. But as of now, that's gonna do it here for Growlin and Prowlin. Check me out on Instagram at Misterceelow. If you have any ideas or suggestions on the show, comments on the show, leave them on my Facebook page at Growlin and Prowlin. Make sure you like the video, and subscribe to the video on the way out. And until the next time, this is Misterceelow. Keep prowling the airwaves and keep growling out. Keep pounding.